So this one was interesting this morning. So, okay, it's like the day prior, and 90% of our days out of the month are going pretty good. And the day before is going really good. And then we're waking up, and we had a plan the day before, but we're readjusting the plan the next day. Well, you're feeling a little bit of emotion because of these changes you're making, because what we were doing yesterday wasn't set in stone. Even though that was the best idea yesterday, we wanted to change our ideas today. So we're going about it, and life is full of emotions. So we're looking at, some of the worst things that are happening. Like, how do we end up with that 10% of the month where we are just having a bad time with one another? And then the suspicion of one another too. So, I'm suspicious of you. You might not do what you say, and then they're suspicious of me. You might not do what I say, but then we're trying to gain that comfort to get back on track to where we can get to that 90% of where things are going good. Well, I was seeing it like this. There's like these times where it comes down where how long is it gonna take or something. You really gotta say 5 hours, that's serious or something. And it makes you nervous. It's like, it sounds just like OURS, but it's HOURS. It's a whole different thing. So, like it might, take the property away from my family to complete the task. Well, that's the feeling. And that feeling, I was explaining, I said, that's like Middle Eastern terrorism. That's like what we're going through. We're in the middle of our plans, and we're in the top. We're high profile, high society. We're partly God at this moment, and then all of a sudden we're breaking down. Like, we're accepting what the low life would do, and it can't be that way. So I had to go through and exercise these emotional times to get them out of the way, because I can't make it through the full day with this onset of depression of our plans. And then I had to go into it understanding that there's other things too. I had gone through, and I was telling him, I said, I drank a beer the other day, just one. We did the bathrooms, and after we did the bathrooms, it was you didn't even need a Geiger counter to tell it was radioactive in there. It just come down on you. Oh man! So we thought, well, maybe we'll try a beer and see if that loosens up. And I didn't do so well. It almost killed me. It was like it compounded all that pressure that we have gotten through this. We had changed reality, and we're moving forward from this, and it is causing a major shift in our atmosphere. So I'm going through, I'm explaining, he says, what is this? This is Italian beer. I say, yeah, so look, we're dealing with Middle Eastern terrorism and the Italian mafia. But we're not mafiosos, and we're not terrorists, and we're trying to explain, where's the good come from, because we had explained where the bad exists, because we had to exercise these project depressions or whatever we were doing. And when we come through, we had to, explain where we were good, where our good is coming from again. And then, we go through that, and we're making changes in our life, and we're dealing with people who come from areas where you would, what is it? So automatically assume somebody was someone. I says, well, now we got to go through this good exercise of where our good comes from, and those assumptions, what we assume, needed to be explained because we're assuming bad, but we need to be explained that if we're good, where is that good coming from? And I said, okay, so when it comes down to this, I says, we're not Muslim. So when we're going through that phase, we're not going to, keep treading the water of what's luring us through this final fixture in life, where our placement is trying to exist. I says, we're not doing that. Now, I says, I have family that, you could assume is Muslim because they come from the Middle East. But my friend is actually Jehovah's Witness. And I says, and there's no way I could be Jehovah. So that's like where you're seeing God pushing that plan. You got that loo. It's like a loom or something. And it's pulling you into that existence of what can be. And then you have Jehovah, where it's like, that's the push, we're going there. I said, I can't be Jehovah, but I could be a witness to what Jehovah is doing, and I can understand the Muslim concept, but I'm neither, and I'm trying to do something good here without interference and conflict from the outside world. And there was another explanation of why this could be happening. I'm damn good at what I do, and a kind of person like me is found far and few between. And that pressure, the plans that I have already made that exist, I have to meet those expectations and those appointments that I have scheduled. But the onset of these appointments coming up to fulfill what's in our books is kind of lingering around a month or two earlier than is actually planned. So clearing all this thoughtful water that we're waking up to, we had to bring out the good, explain exactly how we're good people. And then I said, some things are important. I says, we got Masonic and stuff. I grew up around where we had all kinds of houses that had Masonic fixtures and different things. And it was kind of cool because we knew where our good comes from. Sometimes it was something that you couldn't even tell someone. I'd go to a house and, someone would put something in a special way where it would tell a story on its own. You didn't need direction. It was just its placement. And I said, I noticed those things. And you don't want to blab too much when you do notice those things because it's kind of that part of maturity. I said, when you're in the Masons, the church is all different leaders of churches in town. And then they go to discuss matters to avoid persecution at a special place where they can hold those conferences. And then, maybe they don't want to be persecuted for dressing funny or something. They dress up different. All kinds of people dress different. And I said, this is part of our family. You had to be a part of the family. Someone had to be a part of this organization, understand this organization, teach this organization, just like you're going to elementary, high school, then college, or your little league, your college, and then your pro. You're moving up ladders, and part of that, when you're getting older, is learning that you don't have to blab everything, because sometimes it's gonna bring you into thoughtful thinking that's actual malpractice of how you're committed with your team. And I thought it was something really cool that I got that chance to do that. Now, none of us were Masons, but we were working in old houses, 100 years old. The families have passed on through generations and generations that had, a little Masonic story to tell. So why not, tell it in our own way? If we could put a clue here and a clue there, just like, trying to understand the pyramids or why they left the Sphinx out in the desert in the middle of nowhere. And there was a story. Once you got a little bit closer, there was a design and there was pictures that tell a story the way that they wanted it to be told, instead of the assumption that, oh my gosh, there's something blocking the road. We just need to get it out. And then when you go up there, it wasn't something blocking the road. It was something that was meant to be there to bring good in your life. And I thought I'd go over that because it is really tough when we're dealing with financial matters and we're dealing with financial pressures and we're dealing with sincerity of completing project assignments and keeping oaths with people and doing these things, and then all of a sudden it feels like that oath is about to be broken. You have to understand that you have to catch that once you start seeing the signs that changes are starting to enter my life, but it's not supposed to change just yet. You have to acknowledge that it's not going to change, explain the benefit of the doubt, and give good advice to bring you to the place that you're actually supposed to be in, so that you don't have to deal with that depression of maybe something is just going to fall apart the next day. And it's a little bit strange, it's a little bit eerie, but there's a concept there that I really couldn't explain in a different form of English at this moment in time. And it got me through today, and I'm feeling real good about how it got me through today, too. So I thought I'd share my story on today's note, and keep it easy, guys. We're all right. And then we do acting, too. Sometimes it's fun. We come up with ideas a little bit ridiculous. That's the next big thing to put on a show. Do your theater the right way. Give everybody a good laugh. Make everybody think twice about our future here. Keep it easy, guys. Johnathan Paul Roy, 2018.